This week on Check Please South Florida, a Coconut Grove spot transports you to the Florida Keys.
The food is fresh, the food is delicious.
A family-run favorite with a European flair.
The cheese and the cream was balanced, like it was melting in my mouth. It was savory. She turned the pear into something else.
And this brewery will take you back to better days.
The burgers are wonderful, friends get that all the time, and you just go for the atmosphere.
Cultural culinary secrets and global flavors. We have a passion for blending ingredients and seasonings from around the world. Additional funding for Check Please South Florida is provided by George and Helen Weaver and the Friends of South Florida PBS.
Oh my gosh, it was so delicious.
Crunchy and soft all at the same time.
It was good. It wasn't anything special.
Can taste everything, the different flavors.
Oh my gosh, this is like nothing. I was like eating a cloud.
Hello, I'm Michelle Bernstein, and welcome to Check Please South Florida, the show where regular people from all over South Florida recommend and review their favorite restaurants. So this is how the show works. Every week we have 3 guests. Each recommends his or her favorite spot, and then the other 2 go to check them out and see what they think. This week, lawyer David Oslander offers advice on the best place to grab some grub and watch the big game. Located next to the University of Miami, this spot offers microbrews, fresh seafood, and live music, and it bills itself as the oldest brew pub in town. A steady stream of locals keeps it afloat. And international art dealer and consultant Yudelka Tavera curates an evening out that feels more like dining with family. This Italian market offers personalized service and simple home-cooked meals made with love. She recommends you have a seat in the homey dining room, sip on some vino, and prepare for an adventure. But first, project manager Diana Bota is ready to spill the beans about her neighborhood go-to, which brings the Florida Keys into the heart of Coconut Grove. The variety of seafood with rich sauces and innovative combinations ensures there is something for everyone, even your dog. It's in Coconut Grove, and it's called The Spillover.
The Spillover is actually the first cider and meadery-based restaurant in all of South Florida. We actually had the idea of showcasing line and spear-caught fish only and make sure that we have all local ingredients. We make all our own sauces, down to our ketchup, honey mustard, as well as everything in-house, which is the same idea as our other restaurants, but here specifically, it's all about seafood, and the perfect pairing for seafood is cider and mead. We have a lot of Latin pop culture that are in both the restrooms and scattered across the restaurants. Our main mural is gorgeous. It definitely is meant to be a centerpiece of the local community in Miami. I want them to feel as if we are welcoming them into our personal dining room at home. I want this to be showcased of the community, of what we're proud of, and really going back to the simplicity of true ingredients from local farms, local oceans, and making sure that we're making them feel as welcome as if it's family. The Spillover is someplace that everyone in the local community can come in and enjoy. You can get an incredible experience, and the people that work here are genuinely happy to be here, and I think that makes a huge difference.
Talk to me about the Spillover. So it's in the Grove.
It's in the
right?
Grove.
But it feels really like you're out in the Keys for some reason.
You really do. The food is fresh, the food is delicious. They've got a variety for everyone. We had the Ocean City crab cakes.
Okay.
Fresh, lumpy, delicious. You could feel and taste the lumps of crab
Some
in there.
more crab than filling.
Oh, definitely,
Okay.
yes. So I ordered the asparagus. The asparagus are very delicious there. They're nice and fresh. And then I also had a side of coleslaw. The coleslaw is delicious there.
Oh, that sounds yummy. Crab cake and coleslaw, a very Miami day.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Yudelka?
I had the Florida fish tacos, which I found flaky, very fresh.
It's a fried fish.
It was
Yeah?
it was a lightly breaded fried fish,
Okay.
which came with avocado and cabbage. But I really enjoyed the sauces that came. They had 3 different sauces on the side, and I was just like scooping it up. I just kept like, let's get some more, anything to tip it in.
Did you have anything else?
I had the conch strips. I didn't like them as much. I felt like they were maybe overcooked a little.
Conch has a way of sometimes getting a little on the tough side pretty quickly.
It was a little tough. It could have had a little bit more meat.
Okay.
They do make everything fresh there, so maybe, you know, it took a while for it to come out. The seasoning and the flavor was pretty good.
David, what'd you think?
Loved it. Loved the atmosphere. It was very lively. There was music playing outside. My daughter wants me to eat more healthy than I do, so she ordered the cauliflower, which was delicious. And you forgot that it was actually a healthy thing to eat, which is wonderful. Spices just made it delicious. 4 of us shared it, all loved it, and that was a very memorable beginning.
And you?
Then I had a redfish, very simply cooked and perfectly cooked. This one, it was a top 10 redfish I've ever had. The waitstaff was so friendly and outgoing and wanted to tell you everything about it, but not in a overly cloying, I guess, sort of way, but just very friendly, and you were happy you were there.
Think of like old, rustic, traditional Coconut Grove place that you would go to back when you were a child, but with a little spunk to it. I think that's what keeps me going back. Everyone, it just becomes family when you live in the Grove, and everyone's so welcoming and friendly.
It's like everybody knows your name.
Everybody does know your name.
Yeah, it was my first time there. I brought my niece and my stepdaughter, and they were just running around, and they were petting the dogs, and it was just very welcoming.
Yeah, it's interesting. So you also had a smoked fish dip?
Yes, the
Tell me about that.
I think it's the best fish dip I've ever had in Miami. It's delicious.
Yum.
Delicious.
What did it come with?
It comes with saltines.
Okay.
And then they serve a little bottle of Tabasco sauce upside
cute.
down.
I love that.
With some fresh jalapenos also.
Did you have that?
Had it also, and went a little too heavy on the Tabasco sauce.
You
and
did?
That was memorable, but it was great. Once the martini, which was generous, also took care of that.
Tell me a little bit about the prices you then got.
They're reasonable. We tasted some of their sodas that they craft there. I mean, I had a couple of cocktails. You mentioned the Tabasco. I probably should have done that. I love spicy. I ordered a cocktail.
You look like you would like spicy.
I like spicy.
You're kind of spicy
I'm
yourself.
kind of spicy. I had a cocktail that was a twist on maybe a margarita. I had a jalapeno in it and grapefruit, and it was just really.
I think it was a spicy Paloma.
Yes, that was the name. The name stood out to me, but I was like, spicy, I'm in, and I really enjoyed that. That was we should come back just for the cocktail and the meads. I didn't even know what meads were, but we're definitely going back.
You had a burger too, right?
I had a Baba Booey burger.
What is a Baba Booey burger?
The Baba Booey burger is this juicy burger with cinnamon butter. They put cinnamon butter, melting brie cheese, and we ordered it with a side of 50-50 fries. So that was a half sweet potato and half regular French fries.
I know a lot of people that would make absolutely crazy.
Oh my gosh. And their dipping sauces are so delicious. They make them in-house. They've got this honey mustard and their ketchup that they make in-house.
Yum. Yum. And then dessert.
Dessert, the key lime pie. Oh, wow. The key lime pie is to die for there. The crust is very thick.
Both had it, right?
I had it also.
Did you like it?
I am not a dessert person, and I said, oh my God, I'm coming back for this.
For the key lime pie.
Very
Well,
happy.
Diana, the spillover was your choice. Sum it up for us, please.
It's fresh seafood, very, very good service. You feel like you're at home, and it was delicious.
Nice. Yudelka?
I felt like I lived in the Grove myself. I was petting animals, making friends, the kids were playing.
Nice. David?
Going back for sure, maybe a little cooler evening. It was pretty hot when we were there. We have dogs and grand dogs. We will bring them all and
I love
visit
it.
there.
Bask in rich flavors at the Spillover, located at 2911 Grand Avenue in Coconut Grove. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Reservations are not accepted, and the average price for dinner without drinks is about $40. So how do you like your key lime pie? Do you like it really tart? Do you like it really sweet? You can take this recipe and kind of make it into your own if you'd like to. You take some condensed milk, the base of pretty much every key lime pie recipe I've ever seen. And it's thick and it's sweet. And then you add your fresh squeezed lime juice to it. And I like to add 4 yolks and 1 whole egg. Lime zest gives it more of a lime flavor, not the acidity, however, the whole lime. And then finally, one little addition which is new for me, I decided to add a little bit of milk. And the reason why I'm adding the milk is because it kind of desensitizes it a little bit and just softens the whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and use a whisk to combine all this together. And to my right, I have a very typical graham cracker, butter, sugar mixture. So everything's been mixed together. I'm going to let this sit here and thicken. After it thickens, you're just going to pour it and bake it. I put it into a fridge after it's come to room temperature, after it's baked. And this is what my pie looks like. So I'm going to cut a little piece of this. The first cut of pie is always the hardest to get out. Make sure you go down underneath, get all that goodness, because it's so creamy, yet it's still nice and set. Serve it with a little bit of fresh whipped cream like so, and make somebody very happy. I'll see you later. I got to get into this. The taste of the Florida Keys is just a step away. Go to checkpleasefl.com for my key lime pie recipe. Now, international art dealer and consultant Yudelka Tavera says her pick perfectly exhibits their mission to deliver a simple, fresh, home-cooked meal, just the way Nonna made. No need to see a menu. She insists the Italian specialties served inside of a vintage-style market will entice and satisfy. It's in Fort Lauderdale, and it's called Il Paesano.
We're at Il Paisano. Welcome. This is an Italian market, a restaurant, a deli. Paula and I met back in South Africa. She came from a very Italian family, so we decided to do something that was authentic, absolutely authentic. That was our core here. We need to make it absolutely Italian as possible. We open generally at 10 o'clock in the morning. You know, walk inside, have a cup of coffee with me, do your shopping, your fresh pasta, your fresh sauces, soups, authentic, top quality Italian products. And then at about 6:30, we start serving dinner. There is no menu at all, and that's our whole thing here. We don't want a menu, we don't want wine lists. People must come in, they sit down. We don't have servers, we have myself and my wife that'll approach you and just invite people to come over and eat with us. There's no uncomfortable feeling when coming to my place. When you come to my place, you need to sit down and you're at home. You're in my house. This is a family environment. It's not, you don't have to wear a three-piece suit to come to me. In fact, I would prefer it if you came with your wife and your children and just sat down. We'll give you just something to drink, a nice bottle of wine, good homemade food. Just enjoy it. There's no rush. Il Paesano is a true, authentic Italian market.
Sounds good, right?
It is, it is. It is our go-to place. They know me, they know my family. We're there sometimes twice a week. We don't feel like cooking. Unassuming. It's so small. We thought it was a pizza shop. We stumbled inside looking for pizza, and I said, oh, you know, they had some items for sale, and out comes the owner. Are you here for lunch? And I said, no, I don't think I want a panini, you know, and it was just, I was like, oh, I thought you guys were a pizza shop. And she said, no, sit. And she showed me the little back room that had wine all over the walls. And she said, pick a bottle, I'll recommend something. And she stood there and was talking for like a good 10 minutes. We have da-da-da-da-da-da, and it was just amazing.
You realized you had stumbled into magic, right? Isn't that amazing when that happens?
Absolutely.
Tell me about what you had last time you went.
The last time I went, I had the pear fallottino, and it was fantastic. Very buttery, creamy. The pear you think would be something overwhelming for a non-dessert person. It wasn't. The cheese and the cream was balanced, like it was melting in my mouth. It was savory. She turned the pear into something else, you know, like I didn't really miss meat.
Okay. Anything
else? Fantastic. My partner had the veal saltimbocca, and it was not overdone.
Was it a veal chop or a veal scallopini style?
It was sliced.
Okay, so it was a scallopini style,
Sliced.
but it's the saltimbocca sauce. Okay.
And then with some fried sage. Topped with Parmesan. We were just like rotating our plates, like, okay, my turn, your turn.
Diana, what'd you think?
Oh, it was fantastic. It's funny that she says that they shared because I went with my in-laws and my husband, and it was a little far for me because I'm all the way in Kendall.
Right.
but it was worth the drive. My mother-in-law had what you had, and it was to die for. I think it was the best dish on the table. And I had the ravioli stuffed with lobster. Just a simple, creamy sauce, but it was delicious. For appetizer, we had a picada, like a nice antipasta.
What was on there? Do you remember?
A spicy salami, a prosciutto, some olives, some
You had that as well,
cheeses.
David, right?
Yes, as a starter. Correct.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it as well?
I'm that cranky guy that generally doesn't like to go north of Miami-Dade County,
Okay.
but we go.
I said
And
that.
I met 3 of my closest friends. We're friends for 40 years. One lives in Boca, one lives in Pembroke Pines, the other lives in Aventura. The 4 of us at the end of the evening all said, this was a memorable evening we have spent together, and we're friends forever.
Oh, how lovely.
We walked in, and Paola is the owner, and she said, I'm going to put you in the wine room, but people buy wine, so I hope you don't mind. While you're eating, they're going to be walking around you. It turned out to be lovely because 2 of my friends are wine experts. They were blown away at what they would say were $120 bottles of wine at a restaurant that were $40.
Wow.
And you just pulled them off the shelf. We really met Paola within an hour. We were friends for life.
They're a fascinating couple, and they're super
really are.
friendly. They're super nice to our
So
family.
nice. We sat for hours drinking wine, solving the world's problems, and eating delicious food, so much that at the end of the night, each friend made plans to go with their families.
Right.
I had a ravioli filled with ossobuco, and it was
That sounds delicious.
delicious. Absolutely delicious. We all shared, delightful, a memorable evening.
And you
I
all
couldn't
had
believe it.
dessert. So let's start with you, David. What'd you have for dessert?
We shared. The tiramisu was highest quality. Not too sweet, delicious.
Diana, what'd you have for dessert?
We had torta de la nonna.
Oh, sure. Grandma's.
So it was like a
Cake.
lemon tart. Delicious, fantastic. And we also had like a fruit tart, which was very unique. I wonder if the berries were almost imported. I had never seen blueberries that size. Tiny, tiny, tiny blueberries.
Usually the European ones are that size. That's interesting.
So unique.
Did it bother any of you that they don't have a menu really, that it's all verbal?
It did the first time, but she came out and she gave me a big smile, and she said, "Oh, we have this, 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 and that."
Right.
And she said it with the perfect accent, and I said, "Okay," And I said,
Sold.
"Let's stay."
Yeah.
Right.
Sold.
Truly like meeting a friend, and you're at dinner at the friend's house who happens to be a wonderful cook. So
Nice.
it was wonderful.
Well, you, Delga, il Paisano was your choice. Sum it up for us, please.
It's truly an authentic Italian experience.
Diana?
I felt I was having dinner somewhere in Italy. It was delicious. It was warm. It was friendly. I loved the atmosphere.
David?
A truly memorable night. Go with friends, and you'll talk about it forever.
For homemade Italian dishes, visit Il Paisano, located at 2645 East Oakland Park Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. Open Monday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. Reservations are accepted, and the average price for dinner without drinks is about $60. Finally, lawyer David Auslander makes the case for his favorite brew pub, which bills itself as Miami's oldest and finest. It's a historic hangout that's full of character and legends that never die. He says it's great for the game, but also for upscale bar food, live music, and a lot of fun. The kind of place where you'll want to relax and pig out. It's in Coral Gables, and it's called Titanic Brewery and Restaurant.
Titanic is a combination craft brewery, seafood restaurant, and live music venue, all wrapped up into one little business. Regardless of what we tried to set up, it developed into its own thing. This is a neighborhood pub, and so through the years, people just get to know each other. It has a very natural feel to it. You see the large stainless steel tanks, the copper kettle, wood floors. We've been at this location since 1997, and brewing on premise since 1999, so we've been doing it for a long time. We've really tried to design a menu that complements beer. Like we have a smoked fish dip that's like incredible with a stout or a light style beer. And of course, we're probably known for our burgers. We do a great burger. You come here, you're gonna walk in, even if you didn't know anybody else, the person behind the bar or the waitress is probably gonna know you. You own your engraved mug, and that's where the real pub atmosphere developed. And they're not going to ask what kind of beer you want. They know what you drink, and they're going to bring it. You can bring someone here, and they're going to be happy. Titanic Brewery and Restaurant is a great local pub that offers a diversity of not just food or beer, but the whole experience.
You've been going there forever, right?
I went to University of Miami for undergrad, for grad school. I've taught there. I'm on committees there. If you cut me, orange and green will come out. So that's first and foremost. But secondly, I enjoy being in a truly historic place. Before it was any of these places, the place was called the Flick Coffee House. There's a singer who graduated Southern Mississippi University. He was brought to play there. He played a few gigs and then went to Key West, and he became known as someone called
Jimmy Buffett?
Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, God.
So there are all these wonderful historic
Crazy.
music connections to
Crazy.
this place that has been there for a long time.
Amazing.
So I just love being there. I always get a grilled rare tuna salad, very fresh, nice portion, perfectly cooked, fresh vegetables. Again, simple. The burgers are wonderful. Friends get that all the time. And you just go for the atmosphere.
Yudelka, what'd you think?
I am not a beer person.
Okay.
I brought 3 of my own beer experts, and I brought a alum with me who said, I've been here before, my mug is on the wall. And I learned about what that meant. And I had the ribs. I saw that they had a lot of Southern options. It was a generous amount, seasoned very well.
Was it baby back or spare rib? Do you know? Was it the shorter little ones? They
were pretty
St.
long.
Louis.
St. Louis style ribs.
And you remember it well.
Oh, I love St. Louis style ribs.
They
I
were
mean,
good.
I'm a big rib girl.
I am too. And the sauce was good, not too sweet. I don't really like sweet barbecue.
Okay.
I tried to be a proper lady amongst the men, and I took a knife and fork, and I was just struggling a little bit. So it wasn't off the bone, but I ended up.
You knife and forks.
I tried, and I ended up rolling up my sleeves like, okay, boys.
Good.
And then I really got into it, and I enjoyed myself, and it had good flavor.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Anything else?
The calamari,
Fried calamari?
yes,
Okay.
it was light, and it was lightly breaded. Usually
Okay.
I look like, oh, not enough calamari, but this was very fresh. Usually at a bar, sometimes it's cold. This was I was impressed with how fresh it was. It tasted like it was in a proper, tablecloth establishment, but I really enjoyed it, and it went well with my beer.
Nice. Corn and crawfish fritters?
That made the evening for me.
Really?
I really enjoyed them. We ordered 2 orders, and we had them spread out, and I said, okay. I ended up, you guys eat that, and I'll have this. I gave some of my ribs away. I was like trading. The corn fritters were my favorite, and I had some for breakfast the next day.
You're kidding. That's awesome. Okay, Diana, so you had the ribs. What else?
Oh, the ribs were delicious. I went with my parents. So my dad had the Southern style burger, which was fantastic. It was a nice, juicy Angus burger with some bacon and some cheddar and some barbecue sauce on it on a brioche. My husband had the pulled pork sandwich, which was fantastic.
Yum.
He also had it with French fries and coleslaw. And then I shared the ribs with my mom, which we love the St. Louis ribs, and we ordered, it was wing night, so we ordered the wings. They were fantastic. And I have to say, I was born and raised in Miami, and I had never, ever walked into the Titanic, so I was so happy to walk in there, and I love bar food.
How can you not love bar food?
It was the best bar food I've had in Miami. I feel almost guilty for never going in there.
Do you drink beer?
I do drink beer.
Did you like the beer?
Yeah, we had the Pilsner and we had a brown ale. And they actually had a surprisingly nice wine list. I had a Torrontés, Argentinian wine.
How fun.
I was pleasantly surprised.
I also had the Pilsner, which for a non-beer drinker is safe, it's tasty, a little citrusy. I really liked it. And it had the vibe of, this place can really, I give this a couple hours before this place turns into a party. The beer making process blows my mind. You mentioned ciders earlier. I saw that big tank and all the hoses, and I'm like,
And you can watch them actually make it.
Nice. How was service?
very
Service
good.
was good.
She was super nice. She kept coming over to us, catering to us, just checking like your beer's low, like very nice. Everybody was super.
Yeah.
friendly.
Well, David, Titanic Brewery was your choice. Sum it up for me, please.
Fun place, excellent bar food, and if you care at all about Miami and musical history, a place you need to be.
Yudelka?
they have beer. I mean, if you're with beer people, they have beer, you know, and music. So I enjoyed myself.
Diana?
If you're looking for good, authentic bar food, head to the Titanic.
Grab a brew and watch the game at Titanic Brewery and Restaurant located at 5813 Ponce de Leon Boulevard in Coral Gables. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Reservations are accepted. The average price for dinner without drinks is about $40. We've had a wonderful time. I want to thank my guests, Diana Boda, Yudelka Tavera, and David Auslander. For more about the restaurants and recipes featured in the show, if you'd like to apply to be a guest reviewer, visit us at checkpleasefl.com. And remember, find us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Join us next time for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants right here on Check Please South Florida. I'm Michelle Bernstein, and I'll see y'all then. Thank you. Cheers.
Cultural culinary secrets and global flavors. We have a passion for blending ingredients and seasonings from around the world.